What's up, folks? Today's video, we're going to start learning how to use the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks website. Now, if you're like me, every season you got tons of questions about when do the dates start for different species, what's the bag limit's going to be this year, what's the rules on baiting, what's considered a primitive weapon this year, etc., etc. So the good thing about our state's game and fish department is that they do keep up a really good website. It's actually got a lot of information on it and a lot of features. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know it's there, or they may know the website's there, but they don't know how to navigate it. They don't know how to find the information they're looking for. And we just decided to make a series of videos to help you people figure that out. We do plan on covering wildlife, fisheries, and parks, and then also maybe some of the Corps of Engineer properties within the state of Mississippi, as well as the federal side, which would be the NWRs, the National Wildlife Refuges. But today we're going to start going over Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks website, which is state. Some of you probably already know where it is, but we're going to go there right now. We'll start with launching my browser. And I'm going to go up here and go to www.mdwfp.com. Well, I'll try to put a link to that in the comments below. Now, first thing I want to go here is there's a lot of information just on the start page. As you can see, you got a bunch of tabs at the top to click on and get information. If you're using a browser and it is not fully expanded on your screen, if it's minimized a little bit, see how I no longer have the tabs there. The menu is over here. But if I make it large to fill my screen, boom, I get my tabs back across the top. So I always try to make sure I have mine expanded. It's just easier to find that information across the top. Basically, the website is broken down into segments. This one right here, we have purchase, license, and permits. Some people don't know, but you can buy your license and your permits online. You can get your federal waterfowl stamp, your state duck stamp, your hunting license, your fishing license, your saltwater fishing license, small game, etc., etc. You can even get your fill out the permit for the light goose conservation order, etc. But you can click on that. It's going to open up a new screen. They call it the customer portal. And of course, at the top, right off the get-go, they tell you if you experience any technical issues, call that number and someone will assist you, which is great. I haven't had any issues, but you may, who knows. They tell you that in order to purchase online, you're going to need a valid driver's license. If you're under the age of 16, use your social security number. You're going to need your hunter's ed number if you're born after 72, and they obviously accept major credit and debit cards. Basically, you'll start off by putting your birth date, driver's license, state where it was issued, and continue. I won't go much more into this because I'm not buying a license right now. But when I do renew mine, we may do a video on that. But that's where you go to get your license. Under the wildlife and hunting tab, tons of information, just tons. Fishing and boating, same thing. License and permits, you can find out how to register your boat, agent locations, fishing license information, etc. You can get the youth exempt license. They got education and outreach, hunter's ed classes. Again, you got to have that now if you're born after sometime in 72. We got the boater ed classes that give you information on that. But for example, we'll click on the hunter ed class, and you can search for hunter ed class, or you can do it all online now if you're 16 or older, which is great. Actually, need to clarify that. They just changed that 2 months ago. I believe it's 12. Yeah, right here. Anyone 12 years of age and under. Anyway, they changed that. I think you got to be 12 or older. You can do it all online now. Call them. There's a number right up there. They'll tell you. Don't go by me. But yeah, you can take it online right there. Law enforcement. You need to report somebody who's doing some poaching. 1-800-BE-SMART. Be smart. Parks and destinations. You got your state parks over here with an awesome map. But today, let's just start with basically hunting regulations since hunting season here. So we're going to go to the wildlife and hunting tab. We're going to go to the seasons and bag limits. And right away, you get a 5-page PDF document of the 2020-2021 hunting seasons. In my browser, I can click print. I can print that out. Otherwise, I can read it if I just need to read it. Right from the get-go, boom, white-tailed deer. They list all the zones for the state right here. They describe the boundaries for those zones. They give you the information on what is legal bucks within those zones. After that, they go into bag limits. Antlered buck bag limits, antlerless deer bag limits. That's a lot of information just right there on that because it changes in some of the zones. So you need to read and study that. Excuse me. Then they progress to legal weapons. Youth gun, archery, primitive weapons, and gun. Some people don't know what those regulations are, or there may be some confusion. Right there, it explains it to you. Going down, if you're like me, when they started these, let me back up. When they started these legal buck regulations back many years ago, I was like, how do I know? I'm in the southeast region, for example. How do I know what a 10-inch inside spread is, or how do I know what a 13-inch main beam? I mean, I can't run up to the deer, obviously, and physically measure that deer, but right here, they tell you how to check it in the field, whether the deer is looking away, sideways from you, or if he's looking at you head on, judging using his ears, and then measuring the length from his nose or his ears to the end of his beam. Right there, boom. Now you know how to do it. It's great. Then they go down to the zones. Again, scrolling back up here. Looks like we got several zones in our state. These zones here, obviously here's all the seasons for the deer, starting with archery, youth season, etc. Then goes on to the next zone, southeast, which is where I'm located. Got the seasons for that. We're in archery, youth, gun, etc. It also explains the mandatory CWD sampling that they're going to be doing this year. And it gives you the dates and what counties those are going to be in. And again, right up here, check station and drop-off locations to be found at mdwfp.com/CWD. So once the season gets cranked up and going, you can go there and say, hey, where can I drop off my CWD samples? Next, they go into turkey. There's fall turkey season, spring turkey season. They get into the small game seasons, whether it's squirrel, rabbit, quail, coon, possum, trapping, etc. Migratory bird. September teal, September Canada geese, duck season. Looking forward to that one. Again, all the seasons. They got your daily bag limit, possession limits, season dates, etc. And then you'll see, for instance, like they got some little asterisks out beside some of the verbiage in here. You can go down here and see what that's all about. And they break that down pretty good. And then, of course, there's the South Delta Zone that got really hit hard with the floods. And they show that because they have some special regulations up here in dealing with the taking of deer in the South Delta Zone right there. So there's your hunting regulations. Now these are general statewide. If you go to a specific WMA, are to a national wildlife refuge, those regulations may be different, and you'll have to check the various WMA regs, and we're going to go over that right now, as a matter of fact. So we're going to go up here, we're going to back out of this, go back over here to the wildlife hunting tab. You can see right here where it says wildlife management areas and maps. And let's say that we're going to pick one in my region, Leaf River WMA. I know right off the bat that's in the southeast region. And again, right here, they break down the different regions on here. And if you want to know where a CWA is in your region or which one, you can click on that region right here. I'm in southeast, so I'm going to click southeast region. I see Leaf Rivers right there. They show it on a map. I scroll down here. There's Leaf River. There's the area manager. There's his number. Quick point. If you call these numbers, you're rarely going to get anybody if a busy signal at all. These guys right here, you know, I know this guy. I've been him a couple of times. He's a great manager, and he's over that entire 50,000, 40,000 acre wildlife management area. They got food plots to maintain. They got studies they're always doing, etc. These guys are busy, so if you call and they're not there, don't get upset. Instead, go back up here to the top and call that main number to the headquarters. Every time I have called the headquarters, I've been either transferred immediately to what they call the biologist of the day, or they took my contact information, and usually within an hour or two, they called me back or they emailed me the information that I needed, regardless of the question. And they're very actually diligent about that, which is great. So anyway, moving on. Let's say I wanted to go to Leaf River and hunt that, but I need to know the specs. So I click on it, and it gives a little more details, directions on how to get there, and again the phone number there. And if you scroll down, you see right here rules and regs for Leaf River WMA. Now again, these are specific to this WMA, and they may vary from WMA to WMA. So we're going to click on this, and again it brings me up this great PDF that I can print out if I want to up here. It starts off with the general management rules and regulations here. Everything from legal firearms to handicap hunter access to wild hogs, etc. It's all right here. We got the seasons over here. We got archery, youth gun, primitive weapon. It gives a little more in the comments. It gets some detail, like youth gun, November 7th to November 20th. Antlerless deer and legal bucks. If you got a kid, take a kid fishing then. I'm sorry, take a kid fishing. Take a kid hunting then. There's a great chance that they could get something solely on the fact that it's antlerless deer they can take. I took my daughter this past season, for example, to this very wildlife management area. We saw deer every trip out there. And the couple food plots we hunted, we typically saw does. I don't know that we saw a buck in the food plot. I don't remember, but we did see does. And anyway, there's a good chance that a youth can harvest something, and this is a great thing they're doing. I encourage you to take a kid hunting. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the special instructions. The bag limits right here. This one pretty much follows, well, it says it's same as statewide bag limit. However, be aware that some of these WMAs don't follow the statewide bag limits. They may have some special to them, so always check that section. They go into description of the legal bucks again here. Talk about deer data collection. Usually at the WMA headquarters, there is a collection shed for you to go. Typically, you can get the weight, and they'll remove part of the jawbone. And I know some people I've heard don't always report their deer. I really wish you would. I encourage you to. A, it's the law. B, it helps that area manager that I was just talking about, as well as the other state biologists, because they can determine deer age, they can track weight, and they can use that information to better manage our deer herds, which in the long run is great for us. So why people don't do that, I don't know. I just encourage you to do it. They talk about dog restrictions, if there's any dog restrictions there. This WMA obviously has a deer hunting area without dogs, and then they have a deer hunting area with dogs, which is great. Hey, you don't like using dogs, they got a spot for you. If you like using dogs, they got a spot for that too. They talk about turkey hunting permits. They have a short section at the beginning of the season where you can get drawn for turkey hunting, where basically you get to go into this WMA and turkey hunt a little bit before everyone else does. And again, this is specific to this WMA, and it may vary from WMA to WMA, so check. I know my daughter and I got drawn, and I went here and turkey hunted early. I don't want to say it, but as a turkey hunter, we don't give out much information, but I will tell you there are turkey there. Also, they go over legal weapons. They describe off-road use, ATV use. On this one here, it being that Leaf River is primarily over DeSoto National Forest, off-road vehicle use will be governed by U.S. Forest Service regulations. Some WMAs, within their regulations, if you go to them, they'll actually tell you, either A, no ATVs whatsoever, B, we're going to use Forest Service rules and regulations, or C, yeah, you can use them for access only or only for retrieval of deer and hogs. But check that. It'll be on the regulation for that specific WMA. Talk about horseback riding. Talk about camping. Some WMAs allow primitive camping, believe it or not, and they have areas designated for you to do that. Some of them don't. Usually those are the smaller ones that are close to town or something. Alright, so there's your regulations. Now to compare and contrast, just again to point out, this one says off-road vehicle use will be governed by U.S. Forest regulations. I've already went ahead and checked with DeSoto National Forest, and they do allow ATV use for retrieval of hogs and deers. I think it's like within a mile of certain roads, but you gotta go to their website to find that information. We'll do another video on that later. But remember this, that they follow Forest Service rules here. So we're going to close this. We're going to back out of this and back up again, just to again compare and contrast. And I'm going to go down to back to Southeast region. I'm going to show you a WMA that I know allows ATVs. Pascagoula River, their rules and regs. If you go down here, right here, off-road motorized vehicle, ATV, watercraft, ORVs, ATVs are allowed on designated roads or trails for hunting and fishing access only. Off-road use is allowed only for retrieval of harvested deers or hogs. So if you go to the map, let's go back over here, for that WMA, they will show which trails, and it's these highlighted with the red dots basically. They show which trails you can use ATVs on, which is a good thing for some people. And let's say you're looking at Pascagoula, right? Like, all right, I read information on that. You can go right up here and click on that, and it gives you all the WMAs in the state. So you may be like, hey, I'm hunting Pascagoula this weekend, but the weekend after that, I'm going to be rolling up to Charles Ray Nix for some squirrel hunting. So you can click on Charles Ray Nix, boom, there's the area manager, the directions, the phone number, any pertinent information such as, like, this road obviously is closed right here. But you can pull up the rules and regs for that WMA. Wow, antlerless deer and eagle bucks throughout the season there. Okay, so basically that's how you navigate to find the rules and regs for the various WMAs. Again, if you get lost on this site, because there's a lot of information here, you can always go right up here to the the Mdwfp icon. You can click on that, and it will take you back to the home page, and then you can start all over. Oh, so we went over season and bag limits. If you want specific hunting rules and regulations, they have a tab for that. License requirements, hunter ed course, license exemptions, legal shooting hours, legal game, weapon and loads, etc. You can peruse that information all you want. Alright, so basically there's how you find specific regulations for WMAs as well as the general regulations for the state hunting seasons. And I hope you find this helpful. We're going to do a video soon on how to use the GIS application there and a few of the other things, because there's just a ton of information on this site and it's a lot to process, so I'm trying to break it down in smaller videos. Alright, get out there and get to hunting.